Right now, live at 5, President Trump is back at the White House. Even though he's still battling the coronavirus, he's telling Americans not to be afraid. And early voting in Duluth is off to a historic start. Look at how many ballots have already been cast.
The St. Louis County Board is backing up the film industry in our area.
Coming up, a night to unite. Why the police department and fire department in Hibbing are holding an event to unite with the community.
Could school snow days be a thing of the past? We'll tell you what local districts are planning.
And a small town in northwest Wisconsin is seeing a sudden surge in political signs being stolen. That and more in City by City.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS 3.
Welcome to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Hibbing, where the city and police department are hosting their first ever Night of Unity. We'll be going live there in just a few minutes. Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Bringing unity to the community. That's what the Hibbing Police Department is hoping to accomplish tonight with a little bit of a late National Night Out celebration.
They hope it can serve as a chance to connect during what's been a tumultuous time for police and community relations across the country. CBS 3's John Cardinelli joins us live from Bennett Park in Hibbing, where the event is happening right now. John, how's it going?
Kristen, it's going great, and right now they're actually going to do a dog demonstration. He's going to set this dog loose. Everyone here's having a great time. We're going to give you a look at it right now.
Every video of it in your ass, I'll set my dog down, buddy.
So there it was. That was the dog demonstration. Pretty cool there. I hope you guys got a good look at it. I'm joined here now with Chief Deputy Tyler Schwarzler. Tyler, thanks for joining us. My first question for you is, why'd you guys decide to hold this event here today?
So originally we had the National Night Out was supposed to be scheduled in August, but it was canceled or at least postponed for COVID reasons. And then we decided to go with the Night to Unite, which is now held tonight. We're here till 6 o'clock. We've got food, hamburgers, and hot dogs. We have a demonstration. We have a couple of squad cars here. And you can come down, talk with the officers, and just come down and have a good time.
Definitely. And why are events like this so important considering our current political climate?
Well, I think it just gives us an opportunity to relax, come down, talk with people in a nice night. It's actually the weather turned very nice here for us. So it's just a nice time to get out and just have a good time, relax, and interact with your local police department in a nice manner.
Definitely. And how does the local community interact with the department, and how does the department here interact with the people? Do you think there is a good relationship here in Hibbing?
Yeah, I want to make sure that there is a good relationship. I want people to know me by my first name and all of our officers by a first name, and have a good communication and dialogue with our community, because they are who we're here to protect. I have friends and family that are in the area. And it's really nice to actually have that trust of our community. I really think that we have that, and we have an excellent community here where people really respect our services, and we get more thank yous than I can mention even today.
Definitely. Deputy Schwarzler, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And the event here at Bennett Park wraps up around 6 o'clock tonight, so it's not too late to come down. And coming up later tonight at 10, we'll have much more on what the event offered here today.
Yeah, and a beautiful night as far as weather goes to get outside as well. Thanks, John.
St. Louis County could soon be the backdrop to films across the U.S., but there's one thing missing. That would be money. The Upper Minnesota Film Office and film industry leaders are asking the St. Louis County Board for help. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez explains why some commissioners are on board and why others are not.
After the Catalyst Film Festival in 2019, all eyes are on St. Louis County for their next film project, says Director of Upper Minnesota Film Office, Ricky McManus.
We had so many people that came and fell in love with our area.
McManus says she's had more than 13 inquiries for projects in the region recently, but in order to get the ball rolling, McManus says money is needed. Tuesday, the St. Louis County Board approved $150,000 to support UMFO, but but voted to wait to decide on offering $1 million in incentives for productions that choose to film in the area.
They send us all of those receipts, and we've got a handful of receipts that says, look, I spent all of this money to people that live, work in St. Louis County, and then any kind of reimbursement would then be given back.
Board Chair Mike Jugovich isn't sold on the idea just yet. Jugovich suggests the state should step in and take the lead.
We really need something out of the state. I think we want to be a partner without a doubt.
Commissioner Beth Olson adds she sees the situation differently and as a chance for the county to pave the way for success.
If we put ourselves in a leadership position of providing incentive, providing support for the film office and all of the jobs that will bring here, what we will do is establish ourselves as a player and as someone who's critical to be a part of whatever the state decides to do.
McManus says 30% of the film production budget is spent in the county, which could be helpful in times during COVID.
They spend that money on Main Street in the Northland. You know, a lot of the mom and pop stores, restaurants, caterers.
The St. Louis County Board will discuss the incentive at its next meeting on October 13th.
Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has announced $100 million to help different venues stay afloat during the pandemic. Live music and performance venues will get a share of $15 million. Privately owned movie theaters will receive $10 million. Nonprofit cultural venues are also set to receive $10 million. The rest of the funds are going toward relief for tourism and lodging industries statewide.
Tonight, the Superior City Council is expected to weigh in on whether or not a railroad should still be responsible for taconite damage on nearby homes. More than 200 residents living near the taconite facility have collected reimbursements from BNSF Railroad for 50 years. They use that money for cleaning and maintaining their homes damaged from taconite dust. But recently, the company stopped those payments without any warning. If approved tonight, this non-binding resolution will ask the company to keep paying those homeowners, but the decision is ultimately up to the railroad company. The council meeting starts at 6:30, and we will have the latest tonight at 10.
Early voting for the 2020 general election in Duluth is showing historic turnout. Duluth city officials say so far they have accepted 4,500 absentee or mail-in ballots. They say 20,000 have been requested citywide. Duluth's Director of Administrative Services says City Hall is seeing between 100 and 150 people drop off ballots each day. She mentions Duluth has always had a great voter turnout and is helping lead the state.
It's definitely historic to see this many people taking advantage of early or absentee voting. Of course, that is one of the safest ways that you can cast your ballot in light of COVID-19.
You have until November 2nd to request an absentee ballot. If you mail it in, it must be postmarked by Election Day. Head to our website, cbs3duluth.com, to see your options of applying and where you can drop off your ballot.
President Donald Trump tweeted he's, quote, feeling great on his first full day back at the White House. This comes as he also told lawmakers to hold off on another stimulus package until after the November election. Deborah Alferone is at the White House with more.
A senior administration official tells CBS News the White House is exploring options to allow the president to address the nation as soon as today. President Trump's doctor released a memo saying his vital signs are stable and he's reporting no symptoms. White House Communications Director Alyssa Farah on Fox News.
The president's improving dramatically and quickly, but listen, we understand he's not out of the woods. He's continuing to be monitored by his doctor and medical team here.
CBS News has learned that several senior military leaders will quarantine after coming into contact with the vice commandant of the Coast Guard, who has tested positive for COVID-19. This includes the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. The president downplayed the coronavirus as less lethal than the flu in a tweet. Twitter flagged it as, quote, spreading misleading and potentially harmful information. The president also says he's looking forward to participating in next week's presidential debate in Miami, Florida.
The president's intention is to go and participate in the debate in person, and we'll be relying on the world's best medical experts to clear him to do that.
2020 Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden remains on the campaign trail. He's visiting Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to deliver a message of unity. Meanwhile, the 2020 vice presidential contenders continue to test negative ahead of their Wednesday debate.
This afternoon, the president tweeted he has instructed administration officials to end negotiations with Congress on another coronavirus stimulus package until after the election. And closer to home, we'll check in on the weather with Dave. Dave, we saw John's live shot that it looks like a nice sunny, warm day in Hibbing, but down here a few rain showers.
Yeah, it's cloudier with showers here in Duluth and the rest of the Twin Ports, and that should migrate easterly as the night goes on. But like you mentioned, we take a look at this live look towards the Hibbing area, and it's gorgeous up there right now. So if you're in that neck of the woods and want to check out the police dogs doing their thing, it shouldn't rain on your parade. It's the rest of the region here where we still have a 20 to 30% chance for a little bit of precipitation as that low-pressure system continues to track along the border of Canada and the United States. Behind, it'll fill in with higher pressure tomorrow, which will bring back the sunshine and keep things on the milder side, but not quite as warm as things were today. We take a look at the Wednesday day planner, and we'll start at about 45 degrees and finish around 60. Today, a lot of towns did crack 70. I thought that wasn't going to happen until Friday, frankly, but we did it today. I still think we'll do it again on Friday, but in the meantime, we'll drop a little bit. But keep in mind, 60 is still warmer than normal. Can this last forever? Well, I'll show you with the 7-day forecast in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, a surge in political vandalism in northwest Wisconsin, plus the candidates have been chosen for the Hibbing High School homecoming. City by City is up next.
And tonight at 6, with so many students learning from home, could the winter snow day become a thing of the past? How districts are approaching remote snow days this year.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS 3.
The Kelly Clarkson Show right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
The Garage, it's your space. Get a garage fit for a king or queen with our Regal Eagle 26 by 28 garage. Store all the equipment needed to rule your kingdom today. No matter what you put in your space, trust us to build it right. Economy Garages. Built right, priced.
Clean water. Some of us take it for granted. Not me. I'm Beth Myers. I have the honor of representing you in the State Assembly. It wasn't that long ago that my family was struggling. We went 7 years without running water. The health of our families and our economy depends on clean water. That's why I'm fighting so hard against special interests who want to pollute our land and water. I'm Beth Myers, and I promise I will never take you or the Northland for granted.
Cat Country 98.9. One Monterey, two Monterey. Duluth and Superior's country station is Cat Country 98.9.
It's time for the annual Subaru Love a Pet adoption event. Join us virtually this year. For the month of October, there will be discounted adoption fees for dogs and cats, along with featured pets of the day. Visit animalallies.net for featured pets and event details. Miller Hill Subaru and participating shelters are excited to find loving homes for pets and bring you this event virtually. Visit animalallies.net for adoptable pets and details.
Season 2 is here, y'all. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more, Kelly, can it
The
get?
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Arrowhead Supply is your local professional source for kitchen, bath, and countertops since 1973. Whether you're planning to remodel or build new, Arrowhead Supply has a wide range of styles and finishes to choose from. We custom fabricate laminate, quartz, granite, or Corian countertops on site and provide top installation. View all of the new colors, materials, and wood available and receive help from our knowledgeable staff at our Lincoln Park showroom. Arrowhead Supply. Visit us today. Free in-home estimates available.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look over Duluth and Lake Superior on this Tuesday evening. Dave will have your full weather forecast in just a few minutes, but first, let's take a look around the region.
Hibbing High School now has its 2020 homecoming candidates, plus mental health training for teachers and coaches in Grand Rapids.
That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city.
Starting off in Hibbing, where the high school has selected its candidates for homecoming this year. The candidates include Caitlin Faso and Caroline Rue, Elissa Dury, Maddie Claudio, Shelby Hughes, Joe Allison, Mauricio Fridlund, Garion Bates, Eli Erickson, and William Stenson. The homecoming coronation is scheduled before 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Now to Grand Rapids, where the Elder Circle is hosting a free youth mental health webinar. The webinar will take place on November 9th and is geared towards adults who regularly work with adolescents. The webinar will provide education on risk factors and warning signs associated with mental illness. If you're interested, you have until November 2nd to register.
Now heading to Bayfield, where there's been a sudden surge in the theft of political signs. Sign providers say they have had a hard time keeping up with demand because they're constantly having to replace signs stolen from people's yards. Volunteers who distribute Biden signs say that of the 400 they've given out, at least 150 are missing. Trump supporters have also seen stolen signs in recent weeks.
If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, the future of the historic Central School is on the line tonight.
And here's a live look up Highway 53 towards Ash Lake, where the sun's starting to peek out again. Much of the rest of the region, though, still has clouds from a low-pressure system passing by, and we'll talk about how much rain could come down coming up after our break.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS 3 News with Kristen Vaki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
Joe Biden isn't an epidemiologist. He's not an economist or military general. But what he is the kind of leader who listens to the experts and a candidate who has earned their support. And what he'll be is a president who leads us out of this crisis and a commander-in-chief who respects those who have served. Because Joe Biden knows this moment is not about him, but about what we can do together. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When Joe Biden wants an update on the virus, he calls on the nation's top health experts. Working together for all Americans is what Joe does. When writing his healthcare plan, Joe Biden worked with both doctors and patients to make healthcare affordable by lowering premiums, reducing drug costs, and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. Joe listened to both small business owners and workers to create his economic plan that cuts taxes for middle-class families, creates 18 million new jobs in his first term, and raises wages by as much as $15,000 a year. Joe Biden's plans will help working families immediately by making the super rich finally pay their fair share. For Joe, it's never been about ego. It's always been about the work he can do for working families. It's what he's always done. Joe Biden brings everyone to the table and gets it done.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Fond du Lac Casino is hiring. Apply today.
My 95.7 is the Northland's best variety all day. From Ed Sheeran and Maroon 5 to Lady Gaga and Bryan Adams. Always family and office friendly. My 95.7, your life, your music.
CBS 3 weather is brought to you by Economy Garages. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, let's talk about temperatures first before we talk about rain totals coming our way. And today I thought we'd get into the upper 60s for a lot of places, and that did happen. But I thought we'd have to wait until Friday before we crack 70. But nature proves me wrong once again. At least I admit it. Aiken, Moose Lake, Superior even. Ashland, 70 degrees for those towns. 69 pretty close in Hayward. 66 Watersmeet, not so bad. 68 towards Ely and Orr. That's pretty good too, and 70 straight up for the folks in Big Fork. Well, I don't think we're going to hold on to 70 much longer. We'll fall towards 60 over the next couple of days. But that in turn is still warmer than normal, and by Friday, we could have a resurgence towards the 70s, and then that may be all she wrote, because then we'll start to cool down back towards 60 for the weekend and then fall into the 50s come Monday. Current conditions show it's still 64 at the airport. Relative humidity is 41% with a westerly wind running 22 miles per hour. Current air pressure on the lower side as that low pressure system continues to track by. 29.59 inches of mercury here at the moment. Current temperatures at the moment in northern Michigan run from 59 to 62. and we're looking at 59 to 67 here in northwestern Wisconsin. And in Minnesota, we go from about 55 degrees right by the lake near Grand Marais to as warm as 64 degrees by Grand Rapids, and just a hair warmer than that in Aitkin and Moose Lake as well. Again, tomorrow's high temps likely will fall more towards 60. It's Friday when we have a chance of cracking 70 once again. Now, taking a look at the Doppler map here, we've got that low pressure system centered up here in Ontario. Earlier today, it brought showers through a portion of Minnesota, including the Twin Ports here in the last hour. Right now, the system is starting to rumble through Wisconsin and Michigan, and the charts indicate the chance for this to pay off is only 20%. Sure looks like that 20% shot paid off here. And in southern parts of Douglas County, it looks like a line of isolated thunderstorms is firing up as well. I don't think any of this is going to become severe here tonight, but until at least midnight or so, it may continue to fire off here and there. Tomorrow, things are going to become clearer, calmer, and just a hair cooler, but still mild as high pressure settles into the region as the low pressure system departs. And then this pattern will become very static. It's going to be like this from Wednesday through Sunday on the sunnier side and also on the drier side. And come Friday, back towards the warmer side when we get that next day of 70 or so. Things will change up once we get into Monday, though, as our next low-pressure system finally comes to call, bringing back a chance for some showers, which we do desperately need. So if we get any rain out of the deal tonight, boy, we need it, and that's about all we're going to get for several more days. Tonight in Minnesota, your low temps, they'll go from about 40 inland to 49 by the lake, and a shower chance is out there. And there's a rain chance in Wisconsin and Michigan as well, with low temps in the mid-40s for the most part. Then for tomorrow in Wisconsin and Michigan, the highs run 58 to 62. It's still a little bit warmer than normal. Clear to partly cloudy sky, which folks there will share with Minnesota. And it'll be mid to upper 50s by the lake and about 57 to 62 farther inland. Still a little bit warmer than normal, just not as much as today. There we go. There's the sunshine and the dry weather through Sunday. And there's the really warm weather on Friday with 70 coming back. Then come Monday and Tuesday, just a little bit cloudier, a little bit cooler, and our next chance for the showers.
Thanks, Dave. This school year already looks different than years past, and this winter will be no exception as school districts consider how to approach snow days while switching back and forth between different learning methods during the pandemic. CBS 3's Emma Quinn spoke with the Hermantown School District to learn about their approach.
With the pandemic forcing students to learn at home either full or part-time, snow days could take a different shape this year. Hermantown School Superintendent Wayne Whitwam says snow days will still exist for the students in his district, but that could change for the 2021-2022 school year. Whitwam added Minnesota's Department of Education asked all districts to give an outline of how many pandemic-related online learning days they estimated having this year before the school year started. Adding this year, there were many more factors for his district to consider if they were to have an impromptu remote learning day when the weather turns ugly.
You still have to deal with like practices. Are you still going to let your players come in and practice that evening? Typically on a snow day, the answer is absolutely not. Where if you called a distance learning day, you'd still have staff reporting and you'd still have practices going on.
Whitwam adds there usually aren't any financial impacts for having a snow day other than possible overtime for those in the facilities department. The district is also looking to outsource plow drivers to clear school campuses this year. Usually the facilities department would do that, but they'll be too busy cleaning campuses several times a day.
And coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear how districts in more rural parts of the Northland are tackling that challenge.
Meanwhile, the Duluth School Board will take the first steps in trying to close historic Old Central tonight. In about an hour, a public meeting will be held to discuss the future of the building. District officials say they're considering closing it because they're having trouble trying to sell it, and the building is expensive to maintain. It's been on the market since the beginning of last year. That meeting starts at 6 and will be held inside historic Old Central.
Still to come, 2 area businesses are starting the season of giving a little bit early.
I've got one for you. See, UCare, health plan demystifiers and sleeve roller uppers.
UCare, health plan demystifiers and sleeve roller uppers.
Sounds so good when you say it. 96% of all providers accept UCare because they rock so hard.
96% of all providers accept UCare because they ride so hard. Can we pull over?
What's our tagline?
UCare, people-powered health plan.
So good.
I've always liked video editing. When I was growing up, I made a lot of YouTube videos about hamsters, and I really love squids. I graduated from a really big high school, so coming to UWS, where it's a lot smaller, it allowed me to really find myself. More opportunities are there for me to explore and find out what I really want to do. One of my overarching dreams is to film and edit a documentary about marine biology. I would say that I am very happy here.
Right now, millions of people and billions of devices are connected to the internet. Homes, businesses, hospitals, schools. The security and reliability of these connections are more important than ever. That's why at Mediacom, we've built a network to protect them. A network that sees threats, fixes problems before they occur, and keeps you going with 99.99% network reliability.
I'm Tina Smith. I approve this message. It's frustrating in Washington sometimes. It is hard to get things done, but you have to keep on trying. If you look for that common ground, you can figure it out. Here's an example. There is a real shortage of access to maternal care in small towns and rural areas. So I teamed up with Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, who sees exactly the same thing in her state. And it doesn't matter that I'm a Democrat and she's a Republican. We both see the same problem. If you try, you can find common ground. And I think that's what I'm in Washington to do.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. Powerful Kubota diesel engine, ease of operation, and your choice of a dependable Kubota gear or HST transmission. The durable Kubota L-Series tractor. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
Dante was killed in Pearl Harbor.
We had a very hard time getting Dante flown home to Duluth, running into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock.
Pete Stauber was very much there for us every bit of the way.
And he would look at us and he'd say, we're going to make that happen for you.
Thursday night, the family of Dante Teeny got him back.
Pete came through for our family with flying colors.
He sees the needs of the people and he fights for them.
I'm Pete Stauber, and I approve this message.
Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
The DEC donated hundreds of meals to feed the hungry today. DEC reps say because so many events have been canceled due to COVID, they had a large amount of food that was close to expiring. Last week, they donated 840 pounds to Second Harvest. That's enough for more than 670 meals. The food bank says they're grateful the DEC chose to help feed people in need in the Northland.
Meanwhile, Super One Foods raised tens of thousands of dollars for improving our region's heart health. Super One reps gathered at their Lakeside location for a check presentation today. By selling paper hearts during the annual Life is Why We Give campaign, Super One raised more than $44,000. That money is going to the American Heart Association for research and education.
The generosity of our customers has been incredible, and they just do an amazing job year after year with this campaign. It obviously has touched all of our customers the same way it has us.
The paper hearts were sold at Super One locations in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS 3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Need a flu shot? Find flu booth dates and locations at essentiahealth.org.
Injured? Call Stockman Law Office. Payments of medical bills and wages. Money for pain and suffering. Call anytime 218-576-8599. No recovery, no fee. Stockman Law Office. Serious injuries, serious law.
Every time that I felt like I was missing out. Every time I asked someone to repeat their question. Every time that I couldn't hear the birds singing in my own yard was another reason to treat my hearing loss. With the help of Ashland Audiology, I can finally reconnect with my family and my life. Don't wait to reconnect to those around you. Take the first step today to start your new life.
Enhance your quality of life. Increase your mobility. Achieve your potential. For specialized, individualized care, call Northern Orthotic and Prosthetic Center, providing the professional care you deserve. Northern Orthotic and Prosthetic Center, serving people throughout northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and upper Michigan.
Joe Biden will make health care affordable. His plan gives a tax credit to help working families pay insurance premiums, lowers prescription costs by 60%, and protects coverage for pre-existing conditions, no matter what. He'll pay for it by getting rid of Donald Trump's tax cuts for the super rich, because Joe knows our economy's strength doesn't come from the top. It comes from working families, and that's who he's fighting for every day.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Season 2 is
The
here,
Kelly
y'all.
Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Season 2 is here, y'all. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more, Kelly, can it
The
get?
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News, live at 5. Here's a live look over Canal Park on this Tuesday evening. Let's recap some of today's top stories and preview what's coming at 6. St. Louis County could soon be the backdrop to films across the U.S., but there's one thing missing, and that's money. The Upper Minnesota Film Office and film industry leaders are asking the St. Louis County Board for help.
And tonight at 6, as a kid, waking up and finding out you have a snow day from school is part of many people's childhoods. But with remote learning, those snow days could be a thing of the past. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
Thanks for watching.